I have here a video from Drewberry that says why I'm not an infinite rank player, and I didn't know that he didn't hit infinite or anything like that, but this title caught my attention because I know that a lot of people or struggle getting to infinite or really don't care about getting to infinite. They just want to play random decks and have fun. So I want to see what he has to say about it as a content creator, because myself as a content creator, I sometimes feel that if I am going to say to people this is good, this is bad, you can feel more credibility if I am infinite myself, and that is why I push to get to infinite. But maybe he has another perspective, so I want to hear what he has to say. I know that Beans also has a video like this. We will probably watch that one too another day, but for now let's take a look at this one. So yes, let's go, brother.
Hey there. I am surprisingly good at not getting infinite rank. I don't want to brag or anything, but I've been playing this game since beta, almost when it came out, and every single season I have managed to not hit infinite rank. I nearly have a full collection. I also play with a lot of the top dog meta decks, but yet...
So never, not only this season, but never. He has not reached infinite ever. Okay.
I still can't make it. So we're going to break down what I'm doing wrong, you know, kind of lay out some of the mistakes that I've found myself making over and over and over again, so that maybe, just maybe, you guys have an opportunity to learn from my mistakes, not make them on ladder, and hit infinite rank. Because really...
Oh, this is even better than what I thought, brother. This is cool, because I just thought that he was going to explain... like, I don't get infinite because I don't try hard enough, because I don't wanna do it, because I just wanna have fun. But no, what he's doing is even better than that. He's going to teach us what mistakes we can avoid so we don't get stuck and not get to infinite, you know. Basically, if you don't commit these mistakes that he's gonna talk about, we have a higher chance to climb up. So he's self-aware of the mistakes he's making, and I do this too. I sometimes recognize mistakes that I'm doing to try to not make them in the future, but the mistake that I find myself doing the most is not retreating. I should be retreating more. I stay too long in games to see what happens that I know that I will probably lose. So I believe this is the type of things he's going to talk about, which I believe it is cool for other players to know what to do to climb up, you know. I am still in Vibranium. I feel burned out. I hit infinite last season, but I'm a bit burned out right now. Yes, because the thing is, having to grind that much every season is annoying, brother. It's annoying. I know that it is. Is he gonna teach us how not to get infinite? You could say that. He's going to teach you what to avoid to not to get to infinite, but if you do it, then you are for sure not going to get to infinite. So yes, he's going to teach you how to get and how not to get at the same time, brother, which is cool. I just completed Series 3. Oh, congratulations, my wizard, brother. I saw you yesterday on the Mogwai stream, brother. And I tagged to you, and I don't know if you didn't see it, brother, because I saw you there and I tagged you. And congratulations for getting Series 3, brother. That is cool. You can build a lot of decks right now. That's another reason I don't push for infinite. If I do it every season, then I will get bored out and not want to play the game anymore. Yes, exactly. So you might do it for one season and you say, brother, this was a long grind, and then you get the more 30 ranks and you have to do it again. Of course, getting from 70 to 100 is a lot easier than if you are at 30 right now and you want to push to infinite. You have a long way to go. So maybe you just set for yourself a climbing goal, you know, like they demote you 30 ranks, try to get 50 ranks each season, so you are getting in fact 20 ranks, so you will eventually hit the thing. Yo, brother, my wizard, my dude, thank you very much, brother, for the resub. You are fucking awesome, my dude. Thank you very much, brother. I did not see what I said, my prime sub. Oh, brother, thank you very much, brother. Thanks, you are fucking awesome, brother. Oh, thanks, brother. This is fucking cool, dude. So yes, you can set for yourself a goal if you want to climb up, that every season you get 20, 30 ranks, 10, 20, 30 ranks. So eventually you will get there, right? And then once you get to infinite, you just have to try to maintain those 30 ranks. It is annoying because from 80 to 90, it is really grindy. Everyone is a sweaty nerd that is playing the hardest meta decks. So you have to grind basically. But at the same time, it is really competitive, and if you are a competitive person, those ranks are also fun and pushes you to play the best version of you in the game that you can. But that is my advice if you want to get to infinite and maintain it. If you don't want, I'll be honest, you don't have to do it. You can have fun in the game however you want, because at the end of the day, this is a game, brother. And there are people like me that have fun pushing rank, but there are people that don't give a fuck about that. And don't let anyone tell you how you should play the game, because it is a game, brother. Remember that, my dude. Infinite is for the rewards. If you care about the rewards, because I would argue that the 90 reward, like the Omega reward with the 500 gold, is the best reward. The infinite reward sucks. I don't give a fuck about a cardback or a title or any of that. I just push the extra 10 ranks just to say, oh, I am infinite. But the real reward is the 91, the 500 gold, for me at least. I need on ranked mode to have fun. I don't like seeing myself lose progress. Oh, that is also like the psychological trait that you want to have fun and you are trying crazy decks and doing your stuff, but at the same time, when you see the bar going down, you feel bad, which is on ranked mode would help you with that, brother. Even though I don't care about climbing, it's our mentality, exactly. True, the best reward is 90. Even the gold cardback we got for last season does not even feel gold. Yes, a cardback, brother. Right now the blue cardback, that is the same as the infinite one, but the infinite one is golden. I like more the blue one, so whatever.
At the end of the day, most people want to get there, right? I also have some things that I see a lot of people talking online as a barrier for not reaching infinite, or something that's just like preventing them from ranking up higher, that I think are kind of myths, and I'm going to break that down here in a second. But we're going to start with what I am doing wrong. And while we're doing this, check out these Berryverse variants. They are unreal. Andy C from the Berryverse made them. Oh my gosh, I absolutely adore them. I've been sharing them on the Twitters, so they are going to be rolling away while we talk about it.
Are those in the game, or are those like custom variants that someone made to see if Second Dinner puts them in the game?
Getting
custom,
to infinite. What I'm doing wrong.
Cool.
So what am I doing wrong? Well, I'm
that
complacent, right? Or you could even say overconfident. A lot of the times I go into games and I think I drew the nuts and I'm going to beat my opponent no matter what they have in their hand. But it just turns out that this is a 12-card deck game, and that most times your opponent probably also drew the nuts, or they drew most of what they wanted to do. And if their deck kind of counters mine, or just somewhat has more power output than mine, and I don't have the available counters, then I'm probably going to lose. But I don't believe that. And in my head, I think I'm going to win, and I just smash the snap button and I proceed to an untimely loss. I lose big. I snap.
Brother, that happens to me a lot, and as I said earlier, I believe that is one of my biggest mistakes playing Snap, that I am overconfident sometimes, or sometimes I do know that I will probably lose, but I still continue the game because I want to see what happens. That morbid curiosity in Snap is bad, brother. And also the other thing is that in Snap, we have to remember that retreating is not the same as losing. You are just it is analogous to losing, but you are mitigating your losses by retreating. You don't want to lose more. You have to be smart about your stuff. It is like a hand of poker. But when I retreat, I feel like I'm losing, and I don't want to retreat. And that is a problem with my gameplay. I recognize it, and I try to avoid it, but I still do it from time to time.
hard, I lose big, and that's the game of Marvel Snap. It's fun. I actually quite enjoy it because when you do win, the high is high, and when you lose, the low is low. But that's okay. You can't get too bummed out about it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I definitely snap hard. I snap a little bit too hard. I get snap crazy. You know, if I'm slightly winning, I'll snap. If I have a good hand, I'll snap. And if my opponent snaps, I snap. It's not a good recipe for ranking up, okay? But it's fun. It's fun. I like to snap. I love to click the button and hear the guy go, oh snap, because I'm like,
brother, I love how he says it because it is true. Snapping is fun, brother. Snapping is fun and no one can deny it. And it's true when it is a psychological thing, brother. You click the stuff, the thing explodes, the dude yells, oh, snap, and you feel like you are in control, you are commanding, you are saying the path that this game is going to take because you are taking the bull by the horns, and it feels awesome. But it also, if you do it too often, it will lead to a lot of losses, brother. It will lead to a lot of losses. And I am like that. You guys know that I like to snap early. Almost all my snaps go on the second or third turn, sometimes the fourth turn, because if I see that my hand or the locations are going my way, I snap those mofos, but sometimes that bites me in the ass. If I don't see that things are going too well, maybe I don't snap so early.
Yeah, now we're playing Marvel Snap. Wow, I've said snap many times. But, you know, it's just a thing. It's a thing about Marvel Snap. You got to be cautious with your snapping. You know, I think a lot of other content creators preach this, and I totally believe it. It's that you should manage your cubes efficiently. You got to retreat when it's not so great, or actually just retreat when it's, you know, not so good. Even if it's like slightly good, you want always those optimal plays available. And if they're not, then just retreat and just go into the next one until you roll that really good combo, snap, get those 8 cubes.
Exactly. There are a lot of people that play like that, brother. That if they not have the absolute best combo, they retreat and they retreat and they retreat. Brother, I don't have the discipline to do that. I don't have the discipline to do that, brother. And I sometimes win games without having my absolute best combo. And the other thing is that if you don't have your absolute best combo, but the other player doesn't snap you, you don't have a reason to retreat. You just retreat if they snap you and you are in a bad position to not lose more cubes. But if the stakes are at only 1 cube, you continue going, brother.
That's what's going to climb you in the ladder. Not those maybes, not those 50-50s. I hope I win 8 cubes and I hope I don't lose 8 cubes like I frequently run into. Those plays.
I do that all the time, brother. In my latest video playing Shuri, I have 2 games back to back in there. One games I play the Arnim Sola to hit a 50-50 between 2 cats, and I hit it and I win. And next game, what happens? I try it again and I lose it. I don't hit the 50-50 and I lose the game. Should we go for those 50-50s or should we retreat? We should probably retreat because relying on luck, I don't know. I don't like relying on luck, brother. But I do it because, you know. Mr. Negative players are in the element. You are basically forced to play like that. Yes, if you don't draw your, for example, the decks that want to play Mr. Negative early, so like turn 3, if you don't draw your Bass, your Psylocke, your Psylocke or your Sabu, they retreat, and you're Mr. Negative. So yes, they play like that, and then they go for the big wins, brother. But that is why if you are playing against a Mr. Negative deck and they do pull the combo off and they snap you and you don't feel confident, you should retreat because they have the most explosive 6 turn in the history of mankind. Turn 1 snaps are bad in my opinion since you don't know the other 2 locations, which could be bad for you. Yes, that happens a lot, and it happens to me because I often snap early, and it has happened to me that then a location reveals and it bites me in the ass. Turn 2 snaps are fine if your hand is good because at least 2 locations are good for you and the 3 might be okay. Yes. Did you watch Educated Collins video about types of a snapper? I didn't, and that it seems interesting. Maybe we will watch it. Maybe we will watch it because it seems interesting to me, brother.
These are what gonna make you fall down the ranks before you even know it, or at least just kind of like stay right in the middle. Okay, so snapping, cube management, retreating on time, these are all vital things that you gotta make sure that you're being aware of, and you gotta assess what your opponent's trying to do too. I think that's a huge thing, right? You gotta read the opponent's deck and if they are going to play those next cards. Now you can't always do that in every single situation. Maybe somebody's running something a little bit off meta that you didn't expect, and then bam, it just surprises you. But I think those are few and far between. A lot of people tend to play the same decks, so you can kind of anticipate what's coming, and if it's not looking good, then get out. And don't just be like me and like want to see your opponent's cool play, because like sometimes I'm just like, well, this looks neat, I haven't seen this combination before, let's see them smack me in the face for probably 4 cubes, because I won't snap, but they did. That's not a good thing to do. Don't let that one happen if you're trying to reach infinite. That's a great tip right there. Don't see the game through if you know you're gonna lose. I also
exactly what I was saying, and sometimes you are in a position like you say, if they have Changshi, I lose. And you know that they probably have it because, as he already stated early in the video, you are playing a 12 card decks, so there is a high probability that you draw your stuff, you know, so there is a high probability that they have the card in their hand. And you say, I wanna know if they have it. And of course they have it, brother. And they destroy you. Stuff like Shang-Chi, like Cosmo, like Aero. When the leader existed, brother. Thank God the leader doesn't exist anymore. But when the leader existed, you said, do they have the leader? Don't they have the leader? Whatever. What am I going to do? And in that scenario, you need to retreat, brother. And I a lot of times just keep pushing just to see, for curiosity, to see what they have, and that is stupid, my brother.
Experiment with a wide variety of decks, okay? So don't do that, all right? Maybe people just watching this and not actually listening to what I'm saying think that that's a good idea because I didn't specify that you shouldn't, but you shouldn't, okay? See, I'm under the belief that if you pilot one deck on repeat, you are going to be much better off in Marvel Snap. Repetition is going to allow you to study the inner workings of that deck and know which locations are bad for you, what kind of decks your opponents are playing that's bad for that deck. You know, you're just going to be so much more adept at reading the situation and getting out when it matters and snapping when it does. When you experiment,
I completely agree with that. In fact, in my video on how to get to infinite for last season, where I played with Silver Surfer, that was one of the things that I advised people. And I know this doesn't work for everyone, but it does work for me. And I believe this is a good strategy. If you are playing a good deck, a deck that you know is good in the metagame, in that case I was playing Silver Surfer, and in this season I did it with the Shuri Zero deck, so I knew for a fact these decks were good decks that could climb ranks, and if I weren't climbing, it was my fault and not the deck's fault. You shouldn't flip-flop around decks when you are losing. That is my advice. Just stick with the deck, grind it out, learn the deck. Everything you have to know about the deck, you will learn it just by playing and repetition and being conscious about what you are doing. And since the deck is good, you will climb a lot. Why do I say this? Because a lot of people, when they start losing, they think that is the deck's fault, and then they switch over to another deck, and that completely change the variance, because maybe you are not losing because the deck is bad. Maybe you are not losing even if you are playing badly. Sometimes in these types of games, in card games, and in stuff with locations and randomness, sometimes you are just losing because of RNG, because of variance, even if you are playing good. So all you have to do is keep going, wait for the backswing on the variance, and you will gain back what you lost, you know. But when you switch to another deck, you completely reset the variance of the other deck, and then you start over again. And sometimes that works because, well, the variance goes in your favor the first few games, but maybe then it goes back, and then you are not learning all you could learn with the deck. There are people that like switching decks because they want to reset the variance, and maybe there is a stuff like a feature location, I don't know, they got a new card that they want to try, and maybe they do something else. They believe that people are playing a lot of certain cards and they want to counter that card. But in my experience, I prefer to stick to one deck that I know is good and grind it out. playing the same deck is gonna get repetitive and stale, but it's what you need to do, climb. Yes, I understand, and it is good that you bring that up, Ractor. I understand that it can be boring. I understand that it can be boring playing the same deck and moreover if you don't like the deck a lot. That is why when I choose a deck to grind, I try that it is a deck that I like playing, because grinding out 500 games with a deck that you don't like playing, it is not having fun. It is just a task, a chore, you know. This is why I didn't hit infinite. I became bored with Surfer Sao and just started flip-flopping between decks, of course. And with the current meta, a player may not be able to stick with a certain deck even if it's good, because it gets countered by a lot of cards, so they can even master the decks they like. Exactly what I was saying. Some people then try to accommodate to the meta, but there are like 3 or 4 decks that you can expand those, you know. For example, right now the Shuri deck that I showcase is a good example of that, and the Thanos Lockjaw deck that is going around is also a good example of that. But I know that it is a expensive deck because you have to have Thanos, which is a Series 5 card, and not everybody has it, of course. For example, me, I don't have Thanos.
Experiment with a wide variety of decks. It's very fun. You get to play with all the cards, and that's how I enjoy the game. But ultimately, when you pilot those decks and you're going into those sticky situations, it's hard to know if you're going to have the power output that's going to beat your opponent. And in a lot of scenarios, like I do, I just stick in because I'm like, I hope this cool deck works, and then it doesn't, and I lose cubes. But I also overthink my plays. I run out of time a lot in Snap. I think, like, some people might think I'm
that
roping,
happens to
but
me
I'm
a
just
lot
straight up thinking of like 20 different possibilities when I just shouldn't. If it's not,
that happens to me on the 6th turn. I overthink the last turn, and I find myself out of time and just playing the first thing that I have in mind in that moment because I ran out of time.
Clear that I'm going to win the game, or I don't have an epic play on that turn.
And I also forget what turn it is. I often play like it is the 5th turn and it is the 6th turn. When there is a limbo, I forget that it is a limbo. All kind of crazy stuff happened to me when what turn it is, brother. Oh, it is so embarrassing, brother. But they make cool clips for the fails compilations.
Turn 6 or something like that, then it's probably smarter to leave and lose 2. Right? Rather than stay in and hope and win 8. So don't overthink the plays too much. If your opponent has kind of a set thing that they're doing, just kind of anticipate that and then just more assess your own play. It's really healthy, and it's going to definitely take you places if you can analyze your opponent's plays and you know, like, find the correct path. You know they're going to do that one play. That's great. But if you stress over like 20 different possibilities and then just end up staying in with a suboptimal play because you didn't think about your own play in the small window of time in that turn that you had, well, you're probably in a real tough spot. So those are some of the things that I do wrong, okay? But I also want to go over some not so impactful things that a lot of people talk about in the interwebs for not getting to infinite. You know, those barriers, those myths, I want to say. Let's get to them. All right, so here are the things that I think have a minimal impact in your ability to reach infinite. And I'm using my own experiences as an example why. So my collection, right? These are on the field here on the screen are the cards that I am missing, the cards that I currently do not own. There's not a lot. There's 3, 6, 9, 11. I'm missing 11 cards, and 4 just came out in the last month, and we know Series 5 is impossible to get. So that's pretty much all I'm missing. And yet, I haven't hit infinite. Actually, in fact, in October, I had a full collection and I didn't hit infinite. You want to know the closest time that I had to hitting infinite? It was like when I was in Series 2. Back in, like, I think it was August, I got to like rank 85 or 90. That was...
Well, I want to talk about this because this is completely true, and I have talked about this several times. In fact, the first time I hit infinite was in the 2nd season of the game, the 3rd season, and that was like, what, July, August, something like that. It was a closed beta. So maybe a lot of you guys weren't playing in that time. I was like, I don't know, 600 on the collection level, something like that. And that's the first time I hit infinite in the game, brother. So I know that you don't need a lot of cards to get to infinite because my pulls were bullshit and I reached infinite playing a deck that didn't even have a Series 3 card. I was playing a discard deck with only Series 2 cards. with Swarm, with a Strong Guy. That was a season that a Strong Guy was 2 energy, and you could empty your whole hand, and a Strong Guy was really powerful. That deck used Hellcow, but I didn't have Hellcow. It didn't matter. I swapped the Hellcow for something else, and it worked, brother. It worked. I believe the only CD3 card I used was Moon Knight, because it was a discard, and I needed another discard, and I placed Moon Knight in there. It was the only bullshit that I had unlocked at that moment. But the other thing that comes into question in here, and that is what I don't like about matchmaking, and I know a lot of people do like this about matchmaking, is that matchmaking takes into consideration your collection level. So a friend of mine started playing the game, and in the first month of playing the game, he hit infinite by just being in pool 2. Why? Because if you are just if you have experience with other card games, and you focus a lot, and you have a friend like me that can help you out build a cool deck when you are starting out, you have a high probability of reaching infinite, because you are playing against other new players that don't have a lot of experience, you know. So that's what I don't like about the matchmaking taking into consideration collection level, is that he's new in the game. His collection level 200, 300. He's in his first 3 weeks of playing the game, and he's infinite, the same as a dude that has 6 months playing the game and has a full collection, and knows what he's doing, and he's matchmaking against people with experience. They have the same title, but they don't have the same skill. So the infinite title, the infinite rank, is not representative of a skill level. You can't equate 2 players of infinite rank as having the same skill, because that is not how the game works, and I hate that. I hate that. I want people to say, I am certain rank, and that rank determines your skill. But in Marvel Snap, that doesn't happen, because there is other stuff that goes into matchmaking. And yes, I know that a lot of people like that collection level matters, because they don't want to feel that they are getting destroyed by someone with more cards than them. I understand that feeling exists, but you know what is the answer? Get good, brother. No, that is just a joke, but in the big scheme of things, it is also true. Maybe they have a different collection than you, and you feel they have more cards, but maybe in reality they don't have more cards. They have the similar amount of cards, but they just build a deck that seems that they have a lot of cards. You can do the same with your collection, brother. And you can see that there are people with pool 2 decks beating people with pool 3 decks. So this isn't how do you say it? An excuse. This isn't an excuse, you know. Plus, if you want to build a competitive ladder, maybe collection matters in that, you know. Maybe having the cards matters in a ladder. Maybe having the best decks matter, brother. Because again, I don't want to have a system where the rank doesn't matter, doesn't equate between 2 persons, because you have to take into consideration the collection level. And yes, some people are going to say to me, well, the collection level doesn't matter that much. You are based primarily on MMR. And I know it is like that, but collection level is in there somewhere, and I wish it wasn't, not even a little bit, because of the things that I have already said. A couple of seasons ago, I don't know if it was last season or the one before that, there was a dude that just remained in pool 1 purposely, and he was like in the top 3 or top 5 leaderboard, because he just was destroying everybody in his bracket, you know, by remaining in pool 1. That is a clearly exploitation of the system. Yes, Strong Guy was 2 energy in that. He was nerfed to 4 energy, because he was too strong. In that season that I played, that I reached infinite, I was playing a Strong Guy deck with this kind of stuff, and a Strong Guy was for 2 energy, 10 points of power, and they nerfed Strong Guy after that season to a 4 energy. And Hellcow was 2 energy too, and it was part of that deck, and I didn't have Hellcow, but I still played that deck without Hellcow, and I managed to do it. So that exemplifies that sometimes you miss a key piece of a deck, but you can still play the deck and be somewhat successful. Low collection level players should be match made with anyone once they reach a certain rank, because they have proved they are skilled enough to climb, but they also have the advantage of coming up against other players who will pull one and pull two cards that don't know what they're doing. And maybe it is also like that too. Do it based on rank. Because I know that bots starting out the game, when you are starting out, bots are programmed to lose. If you are in 10 rank, 20 rank, and you face a bot, those bots, when you are starting the game out, those bots are lose on purpose. Try it out. Create a new account and play against those bots, and you will see that they just lose on purpose every fucking game, so you climb. Maybe and that stops happening after 20, 30, I don't remember. Maybe do something like that with collection level. You take into consideration collection level for the first 40, 50, 60 ranks, but after that it is just pure skill, and collection level doesn't matter. You can do something like that too. I don't know if it is the best, but maybe something like that, where only, what I mean is, in to get to the highest ranks, and I mean 80, 90, 100, only a skill should matter. And maybe in that environment I don't get infinite, I don't care, but I want that if you hit infinite, it is representative only of your skill level, and right now it is not like that. Players that are still pool 1 and 2 essentially shouldn't be able to climb that high, because that is when the meta thrives, and if they can cheat the meta because of low collection level, then that is unfair. Exactly. They are purposely exploiting the system. Yo, J. Collins, my brother, how you doing, my dude? How you doing, brother?
Was the closest that I've been, and my collection wasn't even close to full. Mind you, a lot of people didn't have full collections at that time, but I really don't believe this is a valid excuse, because time after time after time, some of the pro players have proven that decks with pool 1, pool 2 cards reach infinite. It's very doable. A lot of those cards are good. You can't just like look at series 1 and 2 and say, well, those cards are trash because I got them sooner.
What I just said, brother. Some days ago, a dude with a pool 2 Dino deck reached the finals in a tournament, you know. And Dino decks are really good, brother. Maybe the only pool 3 card you need is Quinjet, you know, and you can play it without Quinjet. Of course, Quinjet makes it better, but you can just build a deck with a Sentinel, Munger, the Collector, Devil Dino, and you will have a strong deck that can reach to infinite. Will it be harder than playing Shuri Zero? Yes, because Shuri Zero is a busted deck, but you can still do it.
No, like Onslaught, Odin, like a few of those cards, like Professor X, who knows? Like there's a bunch of really good cards tucked away there, and you can build some awesome decks. Mind you, I know that when you get to Series 3, Series 4, whatever else, you're going to get more options. And I don't want to belittle that. Having more options makes it a lot easier to rank up, because you can kind of adapt to the meta whenever it's presented in your face, right? If there's a certain deck that is beating everyone up, but there's a Series 4 or 5 card that's available that would really help out, but then you can't really get it because it takes so much money, so much time. I understand that. And I think that does play a small part, but it is not the all-encompassing part of why you cannot reach infinite. Even if you're matched up against that top dog meta deck, right, that Silver Surfer or whatever else was going on back in the day, there were still ways to overcome it. It's not like nobody hits infinite. Many players hit infinite, not too many. I think it's like 5%, but like there's still people out there that are reaching infinite, so they're beating those decks. They're finding ways, and maybe you just got to adapt and play those decks. So what I'm getting at is it's not just your collection. You can make it work. There's a lot of other factors that are going to help, but the collection is a small part. But there's other things we have to consider, okay? So another thing is game knowledge. You can't just say like, well, you just don't know the game or something like that. That's why you're not hitting infinite. You don't know the mechanics, the interactions. You're not studying the meta decks. Dude, I keep up with this game every single day. I do not hit infinite. I just don't. There's other factors that I think are more important to not hitting infinite than game knowledge. I know a lot of the game, but just not getting there. And on top of that,
I agree with that. I also know a lot about the game mechanics, but we have to know also, and this is something cool that the game has, that there are a lot of crazy scenarios that even if you play the game every day for a lot of hours, there are some scenarios that you don't know what is exactly going to happen, how the interactions will work between cards and locations, and that is kind of cool, but it also can create frustrating scenarios. and crazy stuff that you think you will win and you don't. For example, some days ago, and I believe it is in my last video too, I played an invisible woman in Gamma Lab, and I played cards behind Gamma Lab, behind the invisible woman, thinking they will turn into Hulks, and they didn't, because invisible woman had them flip, and only invisible woman converted into a Hulk. That was a mistake on my part. Knowing that type of stuff is important, you know. But is that the reason why you don't hit infinite? It isn't. It isn't. Let's be honest. What you need to do to hit to infinite is a snap and retreat. Knowing how to snap and retreat, that is what you need to do. We all know this, and of course play a deck that have the potential to put a lot of points into the board, you know, to outpoint your enemy, because even if you snap and retreat good, but you are playing a bunch of useless cards, you won't have the potential to put power onto the board, you know. So those are the two things that you need to do. Play a competent deck. It doesn't have to be the best deck, it just needs to have the potential to put power onto the board. And then you snap and retreat confidently, and that is all you have to do to climb and to get to infinite. Also, with interactions, if you move one of their cards to another location, like Dead Zone Main, the ability of that location won't trigger for them. Yes, because in theory they didn't play into Dead Zone Main. That happened to me with Aero. That's the most important thing. I just hate giving people the satisfaction of retreating, so I just bluff a snap instead. I got to infinite with Thanos Lockjaw. It's so good. That is one of the decks I am recommending to people if they want to climb to infinite. Thanos decks take a little bit of practice. As far as I know, I don't know because I haven't played Thanos, I don't have him, but by seeing others play around with Thanos, he requires some practice, because Thanos is not the powerful thing, but the stones, the infinity gems are the powerful stuff, and you have to be careful with how you play them. But once you get the hang of it, it is one of the strongest decks right now, the Thanos Lockjaw deck. I recommend it a lot if you have Thanos. The other day I had Wolverine in Reverie Bridge, and after the location destroyed, Wolverine didn't reappear anywhere. I don't know if that was a bug or a section, because that location. Brother, that is insane. That has to be a bug, but because he has to reappear for sure. He has to reappear. The only thing that I can imagine is that he was leech or something like that, but when they play leech, maybe you already played your Wolverine, but aside from that, it is a bug for sure.
Is deck list optimization, right? Speaking about game knowledge, if I want to just throw that out the window, just focus on the games themselves and net deck some like amazing deck that like a content creator said was awesome, or whatever seems to be at the top, high win rates, whoever, doesn't matter. I'm going to try that deck out. I still don't hit infinite. I don't pilot it as well as them. There's other factors, which we're going to get to in a second here, okay? But then lastly is opponents, bots, infinite rank players, series 5 decks, few and far between, and I still don't hit infinite. Bots can read your hands and make crazy plays, but they can also throw games, let me tell you. So you're probably farming cubes off of them more often than not, more often than you probably think. So I feel like that either balances out or you're benefiting, right? Infinite rank players, this totally sucks. I hope they change this soon. But basically, when you're in like rank 80 or 90, you actually have a chance to queue into infinite rank players. I don't know what that's about, but that should.
And it isn't a low chance. It isn't a low chance. You have a high likelihood of facing an infinite player, and this completely changes the game. Because it is not only a matter of a skill, because you could argue, well, they have more skill than me, that's why they are infinite, I am an 80 or 90. But you could also argue that, well, if you want to get to infinite, you have to match with the infinite players and beat them, and that's how you earn your rank. I agree with that sentiment too. Get good and you will get there. But the problem doesn't lie there, brother. The problem lies that the way you play against an infinite player completely changes, because the infinite player isn't afraid of losing cubes, because for they, it doesn't matter if they lose cubes. It only matters to you. So the snapping and retreating mechanic against an infinite player, when you are not infinite, it warps the game, the way the game works, because you can bluff to them. You have to have the stuff. They won't retreat if they don't want to, because they don't care. They can afford to lose the cubes, and this changes fundamentally the way the game plays. This is the real problem, not the skill gap, in my opinion. So yes, they should fix this somehow. weird. Must just have been above then. Yes, it should have been above, because that shouldn't. Even if the locations were full, he should land in the same location. Exactly, it doesn't make sense to retreat unless you really care about the cubes and really want to go up. Exactly, if you are in a dude that is trying to climb the leaderboard, you just don't care and you play it out. So the person that is on the receiving end of this has to put more effort into the mind games, you know, because the infinite player don't care about the mind games because he can afford to lose the cubes.
Should not happen. The only thing I can say to that is it does not happen frequently. Not frequently enough to impact your overall ability to hit infinite, right? And maybe you recognize the name and you just retreat, right? Something like that. But that's definitely not the only reason why.
But yes, that is not that he's trying to say here things that don't impact your ranking up. So this is not an excuse, and I agree with this. Yes, we shouldn't hit infinite players if we aren't infinite because of what we just said. But at the same time, this is not the reason why you are not hitting infinite, brother. This is just an excuse, a cop out. This is copium, brother. This is pure copium.
Why you're not hitting infinite, right? And then Series 5 decks, kind of playing on to the collection, you know, like just complaining that Series 5 decks are the top of the meta. There's like the Dark Hawks. It used to be the Zubu with the Absorbing Man, the Spider-Man, whatever. Like, okay, that is a really good deck. But here's like another counter argument that I would have to that is a lot of these new cards, these Series 5 cards, dude, how often do you actually see them? I know people complain about them because it can be really toxic to match up every now and then. But I have yet to see Shanna the She-Devil, she's not very good, mind you. Shadow King, Sauron. I only just saw Sauron the other day, okay? And then like a select few others. Darkhawk, I've maybe matched up against that.
I have seen all of them except for Shadow King. Shadow King is the only card right now that I haven't seen in a game. I don't know if that's how you say it. But yes, I haven't seen Shadow King in a game, but I have seen all the other ones. And again, yes, that doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter even because those cards suck, brother. They suck. They don't have the power to beat you. Yes, Darkhawk was busted with Sabu and that felt overpowered. And it was overpowered, the Sabu Darkhawk deck. But still, even in the existence of that deck, I was able to get to infinite without having a Darkhawk. So yes, that is not an excuse. That is pure copium. And by the way, some days ago, I was streaming, so you guys might have watched this, and I believe I will put this in a video. I faced a deck that I liked a lot, brother. It was a Sabu Khazar Shanna deck, brother. That the Duke played Sabu and Khazar on the game, like turn 2, turn 4, and on the last turn he played Shanna Absorbing Man, and he just completely flooded the board with the stuff, brother. And that was a cool combo, and everything was buffed because of Khazar. I thought that deck was cool. It didn't push out a lot of power, and I won that game, but I still felt that it was an interesting concept that not a lot of people were trying. But of course, Shanna is a Series 5 card. But it surprised me. I said, wow, that is a cool deck, brother. That is a cool idea. The thing is, people do not play around these cards because they are so rare. So when you get hit by them, it's for 8 cubes. I completely agree with that, Mike Wisa. And I have said that before. You have to play. When I complain about Series 5, that this is one of the things that I say. You have to play like these cards exist because they can be used to beat you. But at the same time, you don't think that much about them because they are so rare and you only face them 1 in 300 games, and when they play them they surprise you and they destroy you. That is a problem with the rarity of the series, not with the power level of the cards.
That card like 5 to 10 times, and it very well could be my rank. Maybe there's just a bunch of Darkhawk players at the top, like 80 to 100, and that's totally valid, and I understand that. I'm only speaking from my own experiences. I don't see these new cards. Not enough people own them. I even see a lot of content creators polls about like, do you own this card or not? And it's like always 90% of people don't. So maybe that correlates to rank. Maybe it's like that 10%.
Bro, that Ant-Man variant is cool. I like this Ant-Man variant. And what you're saying is true. I like Valkyrie a lot. I want to make a video playing with Valkyrie.
That do are in the higher ranks. I don't know. Or they're whales. I don't know. Is it all mixed together? I think maybe it is, but in the most minimalistic way of impacting your ability to get to infinite. I think there's just other things, like I was talking about earlier about my gameplay, and a few others that I'm going to get to right now that have a bigger impact. So the lessons I've learned, and these are the things that I really think are going to help you rank up, okay? So number one is don't stress over your rank. Look at this. Look at this right now, okay? It's shiny. You can get this card back. I don't even know.
By the way, they didn't give us the golden border. They just gave us the golden claw and the golden rib here, but they didn't give us the golden border, and a lot of people are mad about that. You guys know that I don't care, but they say this bullshit was gonna have a golden border, and it should have it because you said it was going to have it, brother.
If it's like in the season pass or if it's like in the early rank rewards, but you can get it. But now it has a gold trim. Yeah, that's a sick flex. I won't lie. I want that. That's freaking cool. But does it really matter, dude? Like
it doesn't matter at all.
It's a cosmetic. Do you care about like your shop that much? Like you're probably
and let's assume the game lives a long time. In 10 months, let's say, or in 2 years, will people know that this bullshit was an infinite reward and that you hit infinite in January of 2023? It doesn't matter. Nobody cares, brother. Nobody fucking cares. They don't care even now. Imagine in 1 year or two from now. So no, it doesn't matter at all, brother. In that way, you can have infinite border even in the back of the card and not only in front. Oh, I understand what you're saying.
You're probably using your gold on credits to get more cards, right? More new cards. You're probably not too many people using the gold in the shop to get cosmetics. Why do you care about this cosmetic so much? Just to hit like infinite. Like, I don't know. It is the end game goal. It's like trying to complete the game, right? You want to hit infinite season over season. And I understand that for the accomplishment, which I think is great, but don't stress over it. Oh my gosh, don't throw away the last week of the month every week just like to grind rank just to get to.
I completely agree with this. And yes, I like getting infinite and I like getting ranks, but we have to remember again, this is a game, brother. Don't stress over it. Have fun. If you are not having fun, take a break, my dude. Take a break. This is to have fun. We wanna have a good time. And yes, I struggle with this too. You see that I sometimes mold out in a game, but that is also fun. For me, it is fun molding out from time to time because RNG didn't go my way. It is a quick relief. It is cool. It is fun. I don't take it that seriously deep inside, you know. And if you are truly stressing out, and not just in the superficial way, but if the game is truly stressing you out, you should take a break. Because when I mold out, it is just, it is a quick mold out, but I am not really stressed out about it. I don't care. Even if I am trying to get to infinite, you know. So yes, it doesn't really matter in the big scheme of things, brother, and that comes from me that I make content for the game. So if you are just a dude playing the game, having fun, don't stress about it. And what he's saying is also true. Maybe you are at 90, 95 at the end of the season, and you take 3 or 4 days just with your head in your phone trying to get to infinite, and you completely forget about your life because you are trying to get to infinite. But it is cool if you do it one time, but if every month you have to do this, that is not fun, brother. Yeah, because getting to infinite, it requires a grind. It requires a grind, and grinding every month might not be fun, and even more if you are stressing about it. But, and this is about, there is people that find that fun. There is people that find that fun, and they also have their thing. It is a game. You get to enjoy it however you want. You get to enjoy it however you want. The thing here is, don't let others tell you how you should enjoy your game. That is the thing. And the card becomes more of a flex. Yes, it's fun destroying your voice. We need to stop letting games consume our lives. Oh yes, brother, that is completely true. That is completely true. When we were kids and I just played some platformer on my PS1, I was just truly having fun and I didn't care about anything. But now you have to go online and watch what is the most optimal path, the most optimal deck, the most optimal route, and you are stressing out and you wanna be fast and you wanna be the best. And, brother, relax a little bit. You need to have fun, my dude. And I'm saying this to myself because I am a victim of this too, you know. I am going to play a WoW expansion, a WoW patch, and I just go and see what is my best talent trees and what is the optimal route that I have to do to beat this dungeon or whatever. Some people find that fun, and that can be fun. I do find it fun from time to time, but from time to time it is also like you are just on the edge, constantly trying to do the best, and that sometimes gets in the way of fun. You know, it is not the same as when we were kids. Optimizing the fun out of games, exactly.
Infinite, and you're like losing your health and all that other crazy stuff. It's just not worth it, dude. It's just not worth it. Just...
Yo, Exo, is that the total WoW? I took a look some days ago and I found something called Total WoW, and it had some new stuff. Oh yes, it is that one. It caught my curiosity. Is that free to play?
Just enjoy your time playing the game, and if you get to infinite, then that's great. That's awesome for you, but you don't need to get there. Not many do. Also, master one deck. It's going to make you get more cubes, I believe. If you know the inner workings of that deck, I already touched on this, but if you know the inner workings, then you're going to be much better off. I think if you pick a good deck that you enjoy playing and you just pilot that one like crazy in the ladder, it's going to do you well. And then the biggest thing, I saved it for last here. Okay, this is what I believe it takes the most to get to infinite. This is the number one factor, whatever you want to call it. I agree, by the way. If you want to get that golden bordered card back. Time. Lots and lots of time. You see, it takes a lot of games to hit infinite. I think people say like in the thousands, right? Just to get to infinite. People can just crush that in a couple of days. Other people don't.
I have the tracker, and it says the Marvelous Snapshot trackers, and it says how many games it took me to get to infinite. Last season, it was like from 50 to 100, and I took around 800 to 900 games to get to infinite. This season, they demoted me only to 70, so I had to climb less. So I did it in 400 games, something like that, from 70 to 100. But it is still a lot of games, brother. So yes, it is a time commitment, and you have to be patient. And this is and of course you can accelerate this or decrease it by how well you snap and or retreat, because if you are retreating badly, you will take longer because you are losing a lot of cubes. I don't know if they are here right now. I don't know, but I can ask them whenever I can, brother. Exxon. I am so over. Wow, played until BC phase 2, took a year off, played Wrath Classic for about one phase and just couldn't do it anymore. I am kind of over it, but the experience was fun. I am playing retail Dragonfly, and it is cool. I like it a lot. Shame that there is not a tracker for Android. Yes, it has to be on PC. So it doesn't track the games that you play on your phone, only the ones that you play on your PC. Yeah, it takes me about 400 games when I checked. Even if there is a PC version of the game, I always play card games in mobile. I don't know if people realize that you climb at less than 1 cube per game. Yeah, yes. I believe my cube rate was like 0.7, something like that. And I climbed. Because what you need to climb is to not be at 0. So if you are at 0.1, you are gaining cubes per game. So you need to, that is all you need to climb. Of course, the higher it is, the quicker you climb. But all you need to do is to have a positive cube rate per game. So if you win 0.1 cubes per game, you will get there. Of course, it will take you a lot of games, but in theory, you will get there.
Have that kind of time. I do not. I have a full-time job. I have family responsibilities. I simply do not have the time to get to infinite, even if I had a good win ratio, right? Even if I was a better player. It takes so much time. You also reset your rank down 30 ranks every season.
That is too much.
Blow. That's like, I don't know, that's like a week of grinding for me, at least, if I'm lucky. So you just have to be prepared to invest a lot of time. And whether that time is spent, studying the game, building decks, experimenting with decks that you like, and then focusing on one.
Exactly. The ranking should work one of two ways. Or they rank you based on your highest rank, or they rank you 30 levels flat and not rounding down, you know. Like if you are 58, they demote you 28, something like that. You are 78, they demote you 48, and not to 40. That is what they do right now. You can be 79 and they demote you all the way to 40. So that is stupid. And of course, I think that 30 ranks is too much. Make it 20. Make it 20, and that you rank flat or based on your highest rank. That is what they should do. Honestly, and please don't get me wrong, I never saw another game community crying so much and being so negative about a game. It's becoming even, for me. I believe it is, for me at least, it is kind of fun. It is kind of fun doing it, for me at least. And when I complain about the game, I mainly do it about the Series 5 stuff that, let's be honest, it is bullshit. It is gacha stuff that is insane. The matchmaking is stupid in a way, but I can deal with it. I don't really care. But yes, I have been in other games that bitch about the game a lot, brother. In WoW, people bitch about the game a fucking lot. In WoW, it is insane. In fact, this is the first time in a long time that people are not bitching about the game, because Dragonflight is good. But in Shadowlands, in BFA, people just completely shut on the game, brother. At levels that it doesn't compare to what we see in Marvel Snap. In fact, in Marvel Snap, you have a lot of people that defend even the scummiest of stuff that is in the game. In Dota too, people complain that you spend a long time without a patch. In League of Legends, people always say that they are mismanaging the balance or whatever, or the jungle on the top lane. So I believe it is common these days that people just complain about the games they are playing, because in part it is fun, and in part it is because you want the game to be the best version of itself. You want to have more fun with the game because you love the game. I do it because I love the game. I know that sometimes it can come across as being negative, you know, and I understand that, and I am sorry when that is the case. But what I want is for the game to be better, because I like the game a lot. I love the game, you know. And the other thing is, when you are creating content, you have to talk about this stuff. It is like a given, you know. I also talk about the good stuff, but the good stuff is kind of obvious. And everyone knows that. So it is kind of beating a dead horse, you know. The gameplay is fun, the location system is awesome, the game is revolutionary, the snack mechanic is cool, the art in the game is insane, the song is repetitive, we need a new song, but the song is awesome, the song that plays in the game. So all of that we know, but then we have to think about the stuff that is stupid. Series 5, the token shop, the monetization, the matchmaking, you know, that is the stuff. And when you are creating 1 or 2 videos daily, you have to take all of this into consideration. Now, if you are talking about the average player, again, I kind of understand them, because people tend to complain about what they don't like, so it improves, you know, or what annoys them. And this happens, in my opinion, in a lot of games. I don't think you've been around. Go look at the Ritoshi League of Legends, Dota, Code, Overwatch. Well, I don't know Code, Overwatch, and CSGO because I don't play shooters, but League of Legends and Dota, I play them, and yes, I played all those games. Mate, I've been playing LoL for 6 years, exactly. And Riot Games has the worst community in sense of flaming and toxicity. That's why I say, yes, I understand. I don't got it wrong. I completely understand you. I just wanted to, you know, talk about that because it is an interesting topic, brother. It is an interesting topic that you brought up. Like, the philosophy behind talking shit about the game, you know, like why do we do it? It is important to do it. It isn't. How do we perceive the community by being positive or negative? I completely understand you. Don't worry about it, brother. If people didn't complain, then the decks will realize the problems and will think their current system is good. Yes, exactly. That is completely true. But I understand what Draco is saying, that there is kind of I don't know, a threshold. Like at one point you just become annoying, and I know that maybe at times I myself have fallen into the, brother, you have to talk too much about this take it down a notch. You know, we know already. We know. I understand that there comes a point when you become annoying. but yes, we have to complain, of course, to be able to take these issues into light, but at the same time keeping a balance. You know, I try to do that, even if I don't manage to accomplish it.
That you want to learn, it's still going to just take a lot of time getting those cubes. Mind you, people can do it really quickly at the same time. We saw Spessy and Derek JN, they speed ran to infinite in like a day or something. I think it took them like 12 hours though. That's still a little bit insane to me. But that's just the nature of the beast. That's how the ranked rewards work. And if you do get to infinite, the benefit is you only drop 30 ranks and you'll be at 70, and it takes less time moving forward, which is actually really nice. It's one of the reasons I want to get to infinite if all ever.
I have to say it, now that I hit infinite, and this season I was from 70 to 100, it was easier. Still from 80, 90, and 100, it is a grind, but it is easier. It is easier. It takes you less time, and you feel like you have the whole month to do it, and you can do it. But when you are in the 40s and you want to try to get to infinite, it is a long way to go. That is why I said, if you don't have all that time to grind, maybe put yourself some steps, you know, goals, mini goals from each month, and you climb 20 ranks each month, and 1 month you will get to infinite, and then you just reset from the 30 ranks.
Possible. But yeah, if you want to get to infinite, it's going to take you a lot of time. Don't make mistakes. Don't play silly like I do. And you know, don't blame other things, except try to learn from your mistakes when you're playing games. You know, that can be a really healthy way to get better at the game. Because I'm not very good. I'll admit it. I don't make the optimal play every single time I play. In fact, I make a lot of misplays, especially when I'm on stream and I'm trying to do two things at once. But even in my own time, I just face palm like no tomorrow, like every third game probably. But you know what? I have a good time and I laugh it off. And I
Brother, yes. In fact, I believe that some of my funniest moments on a stream have been when I make mistakes, stupid mistakes. The day I locked out myself out of the game with Ebony Mo and Storm, it was funny as hell, brother. That was stupid by me. You mean 50 ranks each month? Yes, exactly. So the 30 ranks that they demote you plus the 20 that you are gaining. Yes, it is a lot of ranks, but that way you climb a little bit, and 1 month you will just do it, you know.
Probably should be a little bit more patient, I suppose, with my cubes and my snapping. I should hold back a little bit more, but you can't hold me back. It's the Berryverse. We're coming to get you. We got variants now. It's all over. If you want to join the Berryverse, I got the link in the description below. That's where you can talk to other Infinite players, because they're chilling in there talking about strategy, decks, sharing, and all that good stuff. It's awesome. And then subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, we're going to be doing all kinds of videos. I got some great stuff planned, and maybe, just maybe, you can be a part of the Berryverse journey to infinite, because we will get there someday. But I have to learn from my mistakes first, and right now I'm having too much fun making them. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Brother, that was a cool video. I like it a lot. I like that video a lot, brother. I like that video a lot, and brother, we stretch a 16-minute videos for like an hour, brother. We are insane, boys. We talk a lot. Hey, Drewberry, thank you very much for this video. It was a cool video, brother. It made us talk about a lot of stuff in here, and I like that he's open to the possibility to get into infinite. He's not saying, oh, I don't care, I don't want to get it. He's saying, we will get there someday. I like that attitude a lot. I like it a lot. So yes, thanks, Drew, for this awesome video, my brother.